Good evening, people, and welcome to our finale on strategic business management today, which is day 4. Mm, As people are still logging in, just give it a minute or so, and then we shall commence our discussion on a few more frameworks that we want to introduce and talk to you about them today. All right, so let's kick off our day 4. And today, what we're going to be talking about is the is a few more frameworks, including the VRIO framework. So uh, today we do three more areas. One is the VRIO framework. The next one is the Ansof's matrix, and the last one is how do we put these control mechanisms in place which are relevant to the strategy. So the first and foremost is the VRIO framework that we want to talk about. Within the VRIO framework, it is a very powerful tool to assess your internal strengths and weaknesses or internal focus areas that you want to work upon or to improve upon, and internal advantages that the company has when it compares itself to competition. So through the VRIO framework, if you're going to build up a USP or a unique selling proposition or a competitive advantage or a differentiation, then the VRIO framework helps you do this thing. Once you uncover this, obviously your prioritization of resources in terms of how much effort you want to put in, what should be the benefit to the organization is much more streamlined than would be done otherwise. So it is a relatively old framework developed in 1991, but very popularly used in the world of strategy. Yeah. So amongst many benefits, these are the key benefits of the framework. That is, all your internal resources are evaluated, and if you need to improvise on some of them, then you must and should do that. So the resources get worked upon, number one. Number two, it is also very important that you understand your outcomes of the organization, which are in line with the strategic priorities of the firm. So everything kind of falls in sync. The goals, the aspects that you want to put in place, and lastly and finally, the resources that you'll put behind it. 4 areas: value, rarity, imitability, and organization. That is what makes up the VRIO framework. Uh, Here, we want to talk about the question of value. Now, we know that business is all value centric. We will not offer anything which does not provide value to our customers and to our different stakeholders after the customers within the organization. And if it is not providing that incentive, then it's something that we want to, then we really want to make sure that we are providing this benefit to our end users or to our customers. Rarity, we should not be a Me Too brand or a Me Too organization within the competition sphere. We must come up with what is of value, and that should be rare to our customers. Imitability, very difficult to imitate. And lastly, as an organization, we should be able to put our frameworks together. So let's look at each one of them in a little bit more detail to talk about, a rarity to value is what we want to talk about. So the question that gets asked is, as an organization, are you able to exploit an opportunity or neutralize a threat with the existing resources? If the answer is yes, bravo, move on to the next one. But if the answer is no, then you've got to reassess your resources until the answer becomes yes before you move forward. Once the answer is yes, you move on to the next question is, do you control scarce resources or capabilities, or do you own something that's hard to find in the market or in the demand place? If the answer is yes, that's wonderful. Then you move on to the next one. But if not, then you have to make sure that what you right now, you're in a sphere of points of parity with your competition. You need to create points of differentiation before you move on to the next aspect of the Brio framework. So the question, guys, is if the answer is no at the rarity stage, yeah, does it imply you go back and also relook at the value, or will it be only that you work on the rarity stage? What would be a good option for you to take? Rework on value, or rework on value and rarity, or rework only on rarity? Yeah.
Rework on rarity, because once a value is there, we moved on to the rarity, right?
Correct. But what is now rare, you must also ensure with the earlier question that is it still valuable or not.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So that's how you will cross check and double confirm before you move on to the imitability aspect. Yes, you need to rework, correct. And if the answer is yes, then you move on to the imitability aspect. Here you're going to answer the question saying, is it expensive to replicate whatever that your organization is doing in terms of manufacturing or resources? Is your good or service easily substitutable? And if it is substitutable easily, then it is a problem. But if it is difficult to substitute, then obviously bang on, you move on to the last aspect. Now, if it is easy to substitute, okay, and if it is easy to substitute, then you want to go back and find out the same parameters again. What are your unique differentiators? How will you distinguish yourself in the marketplace alongside rarity and value that you would have probably relooked at or need to relook at it as you look at the imitability aspect. Last and final, what is the organization all about in terms of the processes, governance structures, culture, and does it have an organized, structured process, systems, culture? If the answer is yes, bang on, you've got a yes for everything. If the answer is no, many a times you've got to understand that you need to put this in place. You want to put in a governance structure or an operating system or a culture that talks about core values, and that is what you will put together as you are looking at the entire video framework. So it helps you at each of the points, pause, understand the gaps, if any, and address the gaps before you move on and before you create a disaster by implementing everything, which is not something that you would want to do. So just as an example, how does Google's Vryo framework look like? So in terms of value, they have human capital management. In terms of rarity, there is no other company which offers the analytics module. That is what they do, and that's kind of which is making them very strong with cloud onto their side, and analytics is what they lead on. It is a rare combination that we can offer. Imitability, obviously, people is something that they harp on or boast on, and nobody can imitate the skills and require skills and competencies of Google. And as an organization, it scores very high on a good company to work for. So yes, it is. Yes, it is high on each of the questions that get answered within the VRIO framework. Okay. Any questions, people, on the VRIO framework in particular? Now, if you were given a choice to prepare this for a brand, what brand would you prepare this for? Yeah. Apple. Okay. Any other? Zomato as okay. Zomato. All right. So any others? Interesting one, guys? Because we've done a SWOT for our class. We've done Porter's five forces for Netflix, I think. And we have done a pestle on the health and fitness sector. When you say MI, you mean the automotive brand, Rajan?
It's electronic brand.
Okay. I'm just looking at an interesting, thinking about it rather, thinking at an interesting FMCG brand.
So please come up the question again.
I was thinking of an interesting brand, either as an FMCG that we can work on, so it gives a different perspective that we would want to. Otherwise, we can take Amazon, or not Amazon, we can take Zomato or Swiggy as an example. We can take that, yeah. Myntra is a good one, yeah. They've refined themselves also. So let's try and do a Brio from Myntra, okay, as a brand. Good, thank you for suggesting that. It is retail apparel that we're looking at from the Myntra's point of view. What we want to do is for Myntra as a brand, if we were to develop a Brio framework, then how are we going to develop this on the four parameters that we're going to ask, which is it imitable? Is it value? Is it, organization specific? And lastly, is it rare or not? Yeah. So these four questions is what we would like to answer as part of our, what should I say? As part of our Brio framework. Okay. So I would just want you to, I will just put you into a breakout room for about 10 minutes maximum. And then we come back and we discuss this as a class based on the learnings that we've accumulated on how do we put a Brio framework together. Yeah. So Myntra is the brand, Brio is the strategic tool, and we're trying to put this together for both of them. And let's see what is the outcome that we should be getting. So about 10 minutes is what I'm going to give you to put this together. We are 14 of us. So again, not more than, I think 3 groups should do it. Yeah, about 3 groups is good enough for us to work with. And then let's do that. Yeah. All right, good. Welcome back. Let's quickly start our analysis that we've done. So this is obviously for Myntra as an Indian or as an apparel brand, and the market of reference is obviously India. Okay, so which room would want to, there were only three rooms and there are four parameters. So let's start with the first parameter, which is open to every and all the rooms on the value proposition. So on the value proposition, guys, answering the first question, I normally would, want to put it exactly in the same order. So value, the question being, is the firm able to exploit an opportunity or neutralize an external threat with the resources capability? And what would people say is the answer to this question? In the sense, does the firm offer value?
Sir, Vishdeep
Anybody?
here.
Yes, Vishwat.
So, sir, in valuable, we can show our strength, right? So, in case of Myntra, we can say like they are offering, their products to everyone, like from men section to the kids section, and they all having all kind of categories they are having. So, we can say this is the strength for the Myntra.
Yeah, but everybody is offering that. So what is so unique about it? Yeah.
No,
They
but
are
they
of-
offer basic brands to premium brands. All kind of brands are available under Myntra, which is not the
Okay.
case with the
It's
others.
just all the economic.
Okay.
Which is not the
So
case
are
with
you-
others.
So are you saying it's yes or no?
Yes.
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 Yes. The answer being appealing to all age groups and gender.
All age groups.
Also on in all income groups,
All income groups. Okay.
because they provide products starting from maybe 100, 200, 300 to around 10,000, 20,000.
But I thought Myntra was a mass market brand. Is it a premium brand?
It caters to both. They have this Luke's high profile brands, the luxury brands like Daniel Wellington and so on and so forth.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that also focuses on the fashion build.
Okay. But normally, I think Myntra, when we talk about it, the image at least that comes out is more of a common or a mass market brand, or more of a trendy mass market brand. Okay, fair enough. All right, good. So because of this analysis, because of this supporting argument that we've made, we are saying that the answer is yes to this question. Right? So that is done. Very good. Now let's move to the next question. Is it rare? Rare in the sense, do you control scarce resources or capabilities? Do you own something that's hard to find yet in demand? Anybody? Room one for this one.
Yes, because their return policy is very flexible. And also, once you get your product, you can make a trial. If you don't like, you can return it also.
But okay, so return trials, all right. But isn't that being offered by everybody? Does that? So like
It's a
14-day
quick-
policy
It's a
and
quick
stuff.
return actually. The same time you can check and return.
Yeah, but that is there for every apparel offerer, right? Even your H&M, Zara's do the same thing.
So one more point here is that Myntra also has some exclusive brands, right, which it offers only on its platform.
Okay, so like
I'm actually not.
HRX
Yeah,
is
HRX is there, but I'm not sure if it is offered other ways.
so
okay.
it's Myntra exclusive when it was launched on Myntra.
Yeah, yeah.
Exclusive band on its portal. All right. So that's rarity. What about its designs and stuff? Are they rare? or are they copying me too? What do they claim? That's what they claim, at least. So we'll go by the marketing claim that they say, which is what you can say is designs, colors, trendy.
They have insider group.
They have what?
But
They have insider group. Yes.
they
They
don't have any in-house designers. I think they offer the designs from different brand. So, like in my opinion, that should not come here.
But that's what they claim, at least. So is it a false claim? They say, in fact, on value, what they say is we give you a memorable, I think that's what they said on their website. They offer a valuable online experience to their customers because they can shop colorful, trendy designs. So do we agree with that, or do we remove it from here?
No,
Yeah,
But
we
they
can
are
agree because
offering
they
like 5 plus. Yeah, they are offering around 5 lakhs plus products and 5,000 plus brands. So could be
Okay.
a case of rare.
Yes. So based on this logic, the answer that we're going to say is yes. Okay. So that is what makes it rare. Correct? Anything else that makes it rare?
Yeah, they have this
Maybe a written
insider
policy.
program that others
Which one?
don't offer. The Myntra
Sorry,
Insider
what's that?
program.
Insider.
This is Soumyajit.
Yeah, yes, Somajit. What is that? Insider
so-
program?
So that others don't offer. Basically, it's a
Okay.
program for select individuals. Through that program, you get to have certain super coins after you buy certain products from them, and you can exchange the super coins for some, vouchers or products. And along
Okay,
with that,
so-
through the insider program, they definitely, give out some fashion stylists that can help you,
So
style.
is
what you need.
it like a loyalty program?
A sort
But-
of loyalty program, but you get coins and you get certain features and benefits. I don't think that others are offering anything similar to this, at least not in
Shopper
this
Stop
space.
is also not offering it.
They have this loyalty program, but what they differ is not they don't provide any fashion stylist or any personalized person to style it, because when I was seeing the insider program, they allowed certain people, certain customized or certain people to talk to them. You can get a style statement for yourself and get an understanding through that program.
Mhm.
I'll just like to
Right.
add what Don just mentioned, because he was
Mhm.
mentioning about the insider points. It is
Who,
rare.
who? Sorry, who, Vaishali? Who was
Sorry,
mentioning?
Soumyajit.
Okay, what did you say earlier?
Don, his surname.
Okay.
My
all
surname
right,
is Don.
Okay. What I heard it as what Don was saying, as in Don. I
Yes.
said, who's this? I said, who's Don in my class? Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
my surname.
Okay, Mr. Don.
Yeah.
Yes,
It
go
is
ahead.
also rare, just adding to more points were from same group. The insider points are unique, are rare, sorry, because the points which you collect are based on the shopping you do, and also you can also use it on different platforms, not just Myntra. So I
Okay.
can use the same points on Flipkart because they are
Oh,
super
okay.
nice. So, yeah, so that is why it makes it rare.
Makes it rare. Okay. Loyalty
And also I
program,
can
use of
get those
points
coins.
on Myntra and other platforms.
That support super coins.
Yeah. Okay. So that adds convenience to their customers. Good.
And one more thing, like sir, they are having around 30 days return policy.
Mhm.
Would be a case of rare.
I guess everybody
And having-
has a kind of a return policy. So I don't think return policy is value or rare or something.
I think the
Personally.
number of days is higher for Myntra.
Yeah, for
So this
most
30
platforms,
days
it
is
will be
higher.
either 7 or 10 days at max, as far as I have seen. But Myntra, for all the products, they provide around 30 days. And that is
So where will
fixed.
that be? Value or rarity?
I would say that will come under value because that's adding to the customers, benefits. They are
Reason.
benefiting the
Yes.
customer.
Reason to buy. Yeah. Return.
And number of apps download are more in case of Myntra. So it could be a case of value once again.
Max number of days as return policy. Okay, cool. Right, good. Let's move on to imitability.
Expensive to really to find a current substitute to competitive.
Is it easily imitable or not?
For Myntra, they have certain patents. Our group was searching through online what they have. So certain patents, like they some of their codes suggest certain styles to certain people based on their buying history, based on the search history. And also there are several other patents, and another one of them was we can create profiles, and then again what they do is for each individual profile they'll suggest certain products, certain styles based on their history.
Okay.
Correct. So their algorithms, actually, that's what we're talking about. They have patented the algorithms for improving the sellability of the product. So they would know what you're planning to purchase prior to you even entering the website.
Right.
Secondly, I would like to also add on to this. That is also
Yes.
because of the reason they recently acquired, or actually they do have a couple of acquisitions. For example, Fitiquet is a company they acquired, which is also virtual dressing kind of room.
Oh, okay.
Right. They have other acquisitions as well, which help Myntra get better.
What is it called, Ansh? One more time. I'll put that in because that is unique. I would agree. What is that?
Fitiquet. Is it FITIQUE double TE? Yep.
Yeah, and this is what? It's a virtual dressing room.
Yes, a dressing room platform.
All right, cool. Great. So because of that, we are saying it is yes. And the last question, does your company
Can we also add, because Myntra sees a very good repeat order rate, right? Can we also add that in immutability?
no, repeat order rate is basically a revenue source, right? So because Myntra, for example, has a higher market share or has a higher liquidity or has a higher customer base, that cannot be value, rarity, or imitability. So those are the deep down soft areas that you want to pick up.
Okay, but if a higher market share does not guarantee that
Anything,
it cannot be okay. So because if it has a higher market share, right? So
why does it have why is it difficult to imitate? Because it is patented.
Okay.
Okay, and therefore a high market share. So the outcome is because they do this, because they adopt a Rio framework, they can maintain a higher market share. All right. Okay. So it will never be things like revenue, customers, sales. Those are outcomes. Those are hard facts that you can measure. It is the strategy, or it is the software areas that you want to bring out here. Okay. Last question. Does your company have organized management system, procedure, structure, culture to capitalize on resources and capabilities? The answer is yes. Right. A governance structure, a hierarchy, and governance structure in place. It has an organization structure that says who's who, etc. Just a few years ago, they replaced their what should I say? Their CEO was quite young and dynamic, and he changed the way Myntra was perceived by the Indian audience. Okay, so because of all of this, we can therefore say, so you have the parameter, you have the question or the analysis, you have the outcome, and you have the supporting argument. So you'll have a supporting argument for both yes and no. Suppose you had no, you will have an argument, you'll have one more thing for it saying, how are we going to work on it or make it rare or make it valuable or make it difficult to imitate. That would be your action plan. So VRIO framework is very suited if you want to steer up internal policies and procedures within the organization. Also understand what are your strengths in the organization, what are your capabilities, what are your wow factors, which you must capitalize on in the market. Yeah. Any questions? Anything you wish to add? Yeah, so the best way to do a VRIO framework is the parameters, questions, and then this simple and straightforward way of analyzing what you are going to analyze. And as rightly did, we did assume certain things. We got certain things from the public domain to build on our assumptions. And that is also what we can do for the brand that we have studied as this one. Yeah. Cool. Now, I'm just going to share an advertisement. Since you talk about online and everything, I'm going to share with you something that the brand Sephora did during the pandemic, and its brand value or brand strength has gone up significantly, that it is now featuring in the top 100 brands of the world. So I'm just going to play the ad campaign that did the wonders or the tricks for it, in especially during the lockdown period. Okay, let me just play it now. Excellent. So, guys, this was one of the campaigns that did the trick for the brand Sephora to feature in the top 100 brands as far as his brand strength was concerned. Now, having observed what you observed, if you were to apply 3 strategic frameworks that you've studied onto what the brand went through, because you can see that in the communication, what would these 3 strategic frameworks be? Yes, of all that you've studied, what would be the strategic frameworks be?
I think it is SWOT.
SWOT of what then? What is a SWOT? Is it SWOT? Okay, we'll take SWOT for right now. SWOT of Sephora as a brand, yeah. Anything else? What about Pestle? Absolutely Pestle, because in the Pestle, we understand the social setup in terms of people going online, purchasing it, trying it, and then, and then making that purchase, and that's social. On the environment, because the environment is a lockdown, natural, disastrous environment, people are now looking at online ways and means to shop the brand. And if the brand is engaging the customers, then obviously going to be a good case in point. Pestle for sure, SWOT as well. What else? Any other criterias or strategy frameworks?
We can also include VRIO for Sephora. The values.
Yes, Vrio framework for Sephora as well. Absolutely correct. Any others? And yes, the BCG matrix, whether it's a cash cow, it's a dog, it's a pet, I mean, a dog or pet, whether it's a star or whether it's a question mark. So what do you think Sephora is based on the communication and whatever information I gave you? Is it a star, cash cow, question mark, or a pet? I just said it is in the top 100 brands of the world now.
It can be a star, in my
It
opinion.
has become a star. That is correct, Somajit. It is a star because it is the leading cosmetic brand at the global level, number one. Number two, it is capitalizing in a market which is growing as well. Okay, good. What do you guys think of the ad that you saw?
This is similar to Lenskart, right? This ad,
Similar.
the technology.
But this came out before Lenskart. Yeah, this came out in 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, and now a lot of retailers are wanting to do something similar.
Yeah, so probably they are creating a niche, right?
Yeah,
Kind
no,
of
they're not
niche.
catering a need. They are creating better or higher levels of engagement. They have studied the customer journey. They have studied the process very well, and that is what they have used in their communication to the target audiences. Okay.
Correct. So it's going to improve the online purchasing experience.
Correct. Yeah, and look at the process. You choose. When you buy, you choose, you look at cross compare across various designs, sorry, not designs, various colors. You probably share with friends. You get a validation to your purchase, and then you actually go out and buy the product.
Correct. You can virtually try it out before purchasing anything.
Exactly.
That's a convenience.
Correct. Convenience, engagement as well. Very engaging customer.
Correct.
The customer is engaged.
Yep.
Okay. And I will just show you one. Did I show you the Coke Zero ad? No, guys, or yes, guys?
No, I don't remember.
I haven't
No,
seen
no.
it.
So let's look at it now. This is an ad campaign launched by Coke Zero for its digital native customers, as they say. Let's watch the ad and see what does the ad look like to you. Okay, got it. Finally, let's look at it.
To get more people to try Coke Zero, we created an entire campaign that they could literally drink. First, we built a billboard that served real Coke Zero to thousands of fans. Then, we poured Coke Zero to people all over the country.
Your TV is about to pour you a Coke Zero.
This is a drinkable commercial.
We partnered with Shazam and created a new way of using their technology.
Shazam now to drink it.
By Shazamming the spot, the Coke Zero from the screen was poured right into people's phones, whether they were at home, at a concert, or among 80,000 people at the NCAA final game. Every interaction ended with a free Coke Zero that could be redeemed at major retail stores across the US. Even when there was no screen, we poured Coke Zero using just sound. From ads that became cups, to flyers that became straws, to tweets that poured Coke Zeros in 140 characters, to drinkable posters that use Shazam to turn people's phones into digital straws. Every single ad put a Coke Zero in people's hands. So next time you're thirsty, drink an ad.
Guys, what do you think of this ad?
I think I have seen this before in a previous marketing session or something like that, in a class itself. And it's an amazing ad. It's an amazing way for interacting with the audience.
Correct. Yeah, and this
So you're
won
just
the best
involving
ad campaign. Yeah, it just won the best ad campaign globally for a benchmark of a digital marketing campaign that appeals to the digital natives. This
Absolutely.
aired in the North American market, and it was world famous and went pretty viral when it was launched. Okay, so through this, you're engaging your audience. You're creating a wow impact, and it is the same old Coke brand, but the variant that they're introducing is a Coke Zero brand targeting the digital natives, beautifully branded in the black color that it is distinguishing itself from the mother brand, and that is Coke. Yeah. Good. So the strategy is clear, the goals are clear, and it is supported very nicely with the execution elements of it as well. So moving on to our next framework that we want to talk about, and this is the Ansof's matrix. This is also a growth matrix that helps you to plan for the future as far as your strategy development or formulation is concerned. So on the y-axis, you have markets, which could be a new market or an existing market. And on the x-axis, you have a product or a service, which is you're already there, or is it new? Or is it a new launch that you are doing? So if it is a new market and an existing product, then your strategy should be develop the market, okay, because the market is new. If the market is existing and the product is existing, you need to increase the penetration of the product or the service by increasing the consumption occasions and the usage of the product. If it's a new product, but an existing market, you got to develop the product. And if it's a new market and a new product, it's complete diversification for the brand. So you need to place your product or brand in one of these four quadrants for a suitable strategy to be put in place. So for example, if you were in the market penetration zone, which is existing product in an existing market, you need to increase consumptions of occasions. So something like the tie-up between Coke and McDonald's at the global level. They are expanded through a tie-up. Dukes and Pepsi, when they launched in India, they collaborated, and then obviously Dukes was bought out by Pepsi. Coke, Thumbs Up, or Parle as an example as well. When you develop the market, so you're developing the market, existing product with a new market, you're developing the market in different formats and manner. You could be coming up with a new packaging, an SKU, a distribution channel, a different pricing policy to different customer segments, different geographical territory. All of these can add to the development of the market. Different target segment also, like when Cadbury's was expanding its target segment years ago, it said we are no longer a brand for kids, we are a brand for adults as well. And the communication strongly displayed that. So Ansof's metrics, the next one is your product development. And this product development is what the tech giants do, the Apple and Samsungs of the year. Every year they come up with a new version to create excitement. And under the technology innovation belt, they create excitement in the marketplace. Diversification is a completely new market and a completely new service. And this is an example of Sri Lankan company, John Keels or Johan Keels, that has diversified into different areas of hospitality, of port, of marine, and of logistics as well. So they have diversified their portfolio. Why do you want to diversify? You would typically want to diversify because you want to expand into unknown territories. You want to expand into international markets from the national markets. And that's what you want to reduce your risks and you want to promote growth. Hence, you want to diversify. So just some examples of Answer's metrics. Coca-Cola, at the global level, you have Diet Coke and Coke Vanilla as its new products. Even Coke, Zero, which it introduced as a new product, it wasn't there earlier. It says Coke Zero, the diet variant. And in terms of an existing market, an existing product is your regular Coke that it is selling. New markets with existing products, it is expanding to different countries of the world with its Coke Vanilla and Coke Cherry flavor. And it has also entered into unrelated and related diversification with regards to water, with regards to even snack food items and apparel and energy drinks. And that's what the brand has also gone into. Yeah, so that's their Ansof's matrix. It is done again at the brand level. Vina Milk is a brand from the from Vietnam, basically, and it's an existing market and an existing product. So it has penetrated in the market through its condensed milk, powdered milk formats. It has developed a product to offer a low fat or a weight loss product. It has developed the market by accepting soy milk, juice, bottled water, and ice cream, and therefore it has also gone into diversification into different territories or businesses of real estate, financial services, securities, etc. So there are two kinds of strategies that we want to look at. One is the organic growth strategy, and the other one is an inorganic growth strategy. What do we mean by organic growth strategy? Yes, organic growth strategy.
Organic growth strategy means our company is following the same strategy and they're not getting into either acquisitions kind of thing. They may develop the products, they may develop the new markets, this kind of strategy they follow.
Correct. And as rightly put, Rohit, very correct. You have growing in as per natural phenomena. And here growth is not going to be significant because it's going to be 3 to 5% growth because you're growing every year by expanding businesses, products, services, etc., etc. Inorganic growth is a quick jump to growth, and these are happening due to due to mergers and acquisitions or diversifying into complete unknown territories and waters, and that is your inorganic growth. So companies want to grow. If they want to grow dramatically, then it is this inorganic growth that they want to focus on. But if they want to grow progressively, then it is the organic growth that they look at in terms of their growth plans or strategies that they put together. So organic growth is obviously a natural progression of growth, and it focuses on steady and growth and an upward movement graph as far as their business model is concerned. The advantages obviously required. There's a lot of capital required through mergers and acquisitions, which is not the case for organic growth. Disadvantages are obviously it takes longer. It is a slow and steady, but definitely wins the race in the long term. Your business model may have to be revised to accept the incremental benefits in growth, and sometimes you're not ready through economies of scale to be able to accept it. And therefore, it is always advisable that your growth strategy is broken down into organic growth strategy, and if existing, then the inorganic growth strategy as well. Inorganic growth happens with mergers, when two companies merge together and a third company is formed. Acquisition, one company acquires another company either nicely or in a very hostile manner. Strategic alliances are when two companies sit together, or rather, work together on a certain common project that they want to bid for or pitch for. And licensing is giving them a licensing to work for a short period of time. And franchising is a business model that you have to adopt the same branding, the same infrastructure, the same look and feel of the brand, and therefore you pay a revenue for acquiring the brand and the infrastructure that you are going to use to make money. The Subway McDonald's example is a franchise example. The Tata AIG, the Tata Air India game, is it merger or acquisition?
It is an acquisition.
It's an acquisition, correct. Yeah. So now, there are some control mechanisms that you must put in place for you to ensure that the work is happening correctly or not. And these control mechanisms that you want to put in place are through key performance indicators, or KPIs, as it is popularly called. It's a quantitative method or measure or mechanism to measure the KPI. And these are the KPIs that get reviewed on a day-to-day basis or on a regular review basis that you conduct reviews with your senior management. And when you're conducting these reviews, any gaps or variations between what you plan to achieve and what you are achieving, then you must agree with the game plan of how you're going to address or bridge these gaps. So it's important to have a KPI or a metrics, because if you don't measure it, then you cannot improve it. And if you don't measure it, it does not exist. It cannot be measured. It cannot be tracked. It cannot be reported as well. So it's important that you set the KPIs right when you want to, determine whether your strategy is in the right direction or not. Okay. It helps you determine whether you are smoothly implementing your strategy or are there any problems with regards to your strategy implementation. So suppose you're saying, my strategic aim is to offer a digitally digitally enabled to digitally enable the customer, and that's your strategy. Your KPI should be how many digital channels have you offered to the customer, because that's in line with the strategy. And you can also give in a thing saying what percent of your customers are using the digital services that you're offering. So about a couple of measures is what you can use. You will not use the measure of how many products you have launched here, because that is not an indicator of digitally enabled customer. How many digital products you have launched, yes, that you can certainly put in. Various things that you must monitor. And as we get out of the pandemic, it becomes very necessary that our KPIs are in line with the strategy. Otherwise, We are not comparing apples to apples, we're comparing apples to oranges, and as an outcome, which is completely irrelevant to what we should be achieving as far as our review mechanisms are concerned. Employees need to be aware of what is happening. Suddenly, I cannot go to Somajit and tell him, hey, I want this number from you. And I suddenly cannot go to Pooja and tell her, I want this data from you. It's great, but sometimes people might turn around and say, we don't have it. And if we don't have it, we need to start the process of capturing it. And hence, it's very important that employees who are going to provide these metrics are aware of it as much as the management who is knowing that I can get this information from this person. So when in doubt, over communicate, but never under communicate. Various kinds of strategic monitoring happens, and this is at the annual plan level, or at the profitability level, or at the efficiency level, or at the strategy. Strategy is the everything. Efficiency is mainly on the processes. Profitability is obviously in terms of revenue, costs, and annual plan is with regards to the annual planning that you do, technology projects that you plan for, other initiatives that you want to implement, hiring that you want to do. All of that goes as part of your annual plan control measures. Now just read this. If you want to take a picture shot of this, take it and tell me, okay, take a picture shot of this, guys. Oops. Yeah, so that's my statement. Now, if I were to break this down into three broad areas, which is, this is one of them. So I highlight this in yellow, for example. Actually, there are three of them. Okay, so you have these three highlighted, the yellow and the light blue and the gray areas that we've highlighted. What I would take, if you've taken a picture of this, guys, I'm going to put you into the breakout room one more time. The yellow, to do honorably, to do the other part, and to provide the opportunity. So the room 1 will look at the yellow part, room 2 will look at the blue part, and room 3 will look at the gray part. And what you need to tell me is, in the interest of time, just tell me 2 areas or 2 KPIs that you will build to measure that part. Is that clear? 2 KPIs to measure that part. And it's about 10 minutes of time that you have.
Sure. Thank you.